To a Monday, a Lundy Gras edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with somebody you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Good weekend. So, of course, Tiger basketball got the win on Saturday. Lady Tigers got a win yesterday at Tennessee. Baseball completed a 4-game sweep of Towson and Southern. And then last night, what a way to cap it, Pels absolutely dump trucked the Lakers at Crypto.com Arena, 123-95. And y'all, it wasn't that close. It was, I turned it off actually at the end of the third quarter and went to bed. It's like 11 o'clock. Like, I'm going to bed. Pelicans are up 30. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed. So it was it was a behind whipping. Everything went right for the Pels. Nothing went right for the Lakers, and that was really fun to watch. Not only because it was the Lakers, obviously, and there was no Anthony Davis still, who's out with that ankle injury, but LeBron looks old and frustrated, and they're just not very good right now. And for the Pelicans, that's just massively significant because you're trying to creep toward that play-in game, and after beating Phoenix and now beating LA, the Pelicans are in the 10 spot. So, like, they are in the play-in right now. Like, if the playoffs started today, it would be Pelicans-Lakers in the play-in. The Pelicans would be on the road, but 2.5 games behind LA right now. Still 6 games behind the Clippers for the 8 spot, so that's a little bit in the distance, but making it interesting, and that's a lot of fun. Okay, let's say some good mornings. Baseball finished a doubleheader sweep yesterday. They beat Towson early and then came back and beat Southern. They actually called it after 7 innings. LSU was up 15-0. My goodness, Southern was just they couldn't throw the ball over the plate. That's the kind of game that you just you don't take much from that one. Will Helmer's got the start through pretty well. Really, you just hope you go out there and play a clean game. But man, Southern pitching. Let's see, they walked 14 batters in 7 innings. They threw 6 wild pitches and hit 2 batters. I mean, it was disgusting. So they called it after 7, rightfully so. It was just bad. I mean, LSU scored 15 runs on 8 hits. 15 runs on 8 hits. I mean, you don't take much from that one. All right, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. Chase Pellegrin, Kelly Gross, Trey Bagby, good morning. Ryan Amanda Guidry, good morning. Hey, Dad, good morning. Truax, what's up? Kelly Presley, good morning. Chase Pellegrin, were you able to figure out if they're selling raffle tickets online? I did, Chase. So I actually have a post about it. You have to email the S&P email address and let them know how many you want. They'll send you the form to fill out. So, excuse me. Anyway, yes, so check the post. It's a pin. So he's talking about the S&P Rare Whiskey Raffle. That is tomorrow after AFR. So 6:30, I'll head over to S&P on Nicholson's. It's actually right next to Pluckers. So it's your last shot at a Rare Whiskey Raffle. So buy your tickets, and all of the proceeds are benefiting Drew School, St. Lillian Academy. So many thanks to my guy KP for for hooking that up, and we're looking forward to it tomorrow. So please go buy your tickets either at S&P on Nicholson, that's just south of Pluckers, like right there off of campus, or if you can't get by S&P, you can buy them online. But the online portion ends today at like 4 o'clock. So please look at the pinned post on my Facebook page. David Coslin, good morning. Yep, basketball had a nice win on Saturday. Talked about that a good bit yesterday, but Missouri stinks, and it was nice to see LSU get going. It was nice to not need to run Tari Eason for 35 minutes. Sharif gave you some really good minutes in that ball game. Missouri's just bad. So, like I said, when LSU played Georgia, LSU did what a good team should do to a bad team, and that's beat them soundly. So, up next is a road trip to Arkansas, and Hogs are one of the hottest teams in the conference, and these two played in Baton Rouge earlier this year, and that's one of those ones that if you're LSU, you look back and you just bemoan the opportunity lost, because you had that game won, and Arkansas went on a 17-2 run to finish the game, and you ended up losing that home game to Arkansas, which would be a really nice win right now. So, look, going to Bud Walton's going to be tough, but it's a great opportunity for this team tomorrow night. Trey Bagby, what's up? Hey, Trey, just so you know, Morning Scone is I'm not mad at you. Morning Scone is PG, so kids, family, all that sort of stuff. So nightcap with Scone and all this, you do whatever you say, whatever you want. Just Morning Scone, we keep it PG. Thanks. But yes, the Pelicans did have a very significant win over the Lakers last night. A2, Joel? It's been a minute, man. Good to see you back here. All right. Brian Wynn, what's up? Charlie Gale, Gary Petrie. What's up, Colson? Good morning. Does Hudco get Mardi Gras throws off the roof? If that includes a roof replacement, then yes. While we go to replace your roof, then yes, we will also get the throws off of said roof. But I don't think I'm coming out to your house just to get beads off your roof. Kyle DeVille, love seeing LeBron walk off after that butt whipping. That was intense last night. I mean, I think the Pels set a season high for or the Lakers set a season high for turnovers. Not much went right for them. So when Vogel got teed up late in the third, you're like, oh, they're just all pissed. It's so good. Shelby, Southern game was miserable. I hated playing in those. I hate watching those. Ready for next weekend, yeah. Look, the first game against Southern on Saturday wasn't bad. Southern got up early on LSU. We saw McHale throw. Of course, Javen Coleman. They did say on the broadcast last night that the Coleman news is not great, and he's going to be out for a little while. So I thought, man, whenever you don't leave the game mid-count, something's not up. So that really stinks, man. I liked a lot the idea of money on Friday, Saturday going McHale Hilliard for 2 or 3 innings, however deep he can get you, then hand it to Coleman to give you a 4, basically to the end of the bullpen. And then Sunday, Ty Floyd. We did get to see an extended look at Devin Fontenot yesterday in the first game, which was great to see. It's interesting because he's been around and what he is and what he can do. But circumstantially, there's haven't been a lot of opportunities to get him work. And so I know Jay said after the game on Saturday, he's like, we got to get Devin Fontenot work on Sunday. So we saw Floyd went 5 innings in the first game and pitched really well. Just one run and 1 hit. That's the only hit that Towson got against LSU was 1 hit. It was a solo homer, but wait, was that the game with the homer? Yeah, it was in the second inning. The kid home, yeah, because Towson led 1-0. That's right. I'm sorry, all the games are running together. So, but Floyd was great. He faced 18 hitters in 5 innings, so 3 over the minimum through 5 innings. And then they gave the ball to Fontenot, who pitched the 6th, 7th, and 8th. didn't allow a hit, didn't walk anybody, struck out 4. I mean, he was awesome. So that was great to see. And then we saw Samuel Dutton, who's the player of the year in the state of Alabama last year. He pitched the 9th and struck out 2, and you're like, oh, dude's got stuff, man. They got a lot of arms on this staff, man. There's no doubt. Oh, please forgive me, YouTube. I have not shared the YouTube link yet. My bad. I just got full on talking and everything. I'm sorry, YouTube. My bad. Hang on. Boop. Okay. And boom. There we are. All right. Good morning, Bubba Tatum. Everyone hydrate and prepare for the final push. Happy Lundy Raw, yeah. Trivia Carter, Pat Huseman, Kemper is flying. Good morning. Spurge, what's up? Jesse Brown, morning, Matt. Great to be back in the 985 for a family visit. Do you think the Lady Tigers basketball team is a Final Four team? Well, I'll tell you this, Jesse. I'd be completely lying to you if I told you I knew the ins and outs of women's college basketball this year. I know UConn's good because UConn's always good. What I can tell you is we saw LSU play South Carolina, who's the number 1 team in the country, and that was a game where they battled down to the wire against the best team in the country. So if they can go toe-to-toe with South Carolina, I'd imagine they can go toe-to-toe with the best teams in the country and have a shot. So are they a Final Four team? I don't know. They're going to play. They're going to host the first 2 rounds of the tournament, which is awesome. Which basically means you're punching your ticket to a Sweet 16. So, can you go to a neutral site and win 2 games? We've seen this team have success and basically find ways to win, different ways to win against everybody they played. Now, I got to have Alexis Morris healthy. She did not play yesterday. She hurt her knee in the last home game. But if Alexis Morris is not healthy, that complicates things. But yeah, if she's good to go and the team's whole, there's no reason to think they can't. Brandon, good morning. How's E-Rock and Drew? They're good. They're both sleeping. E-Rock's off of school all week. Drew's off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I don't have to hustle to get Drew out of school. And then we normally on Monday at Guarantee have a 9 o'clock Monday morning meeting, but no 9 a.m. meeting today. So I could sleep in just a little bit. That's why I'm still in sleep shirt. But have my coffee, then shower and get rolling. So. All right, Tim Gotro, Keith H. You know what, Keith? I got to tell you. All right, let's do the Hudco hustle, and I got to tell you a funny story. Here we go.
Hudco Roofing. Hudco Roofing. When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terrio.
All you need is Hudco.
Hudco Roofing. Hudco Roofing. Call Hudco Roofing.
364
1007. Roofing. Hudco Roofing.
So I'm watching the baseball game last night. Excuse me. We did some grilling in the outdoor kitchen. And so I had the TV on out. So I'm watching the game outside, grilling dinner, all that sort of stuff, and keeping an eye on it. And you can tell the temperature's dropping, it's freezing. And it's the middle of the 5th inning. And they're doing crowd shots, middle of the 5th inning. Between innings, they just do crowd shots on the TV broadcast. Because I don't know if you're familiar, but if you're watching LSU baseball, if they don't, they only bring in Lynn Rollins and Ben McDonald, the crew, for X amount of games because they have to pay those guys per game. So for a series like that, they don't, or sometimes for midweek games, they don't bring in additional crew. They just take the radio broadcast and overlay it on the video. So basically, Chris Blair and Doug Thompson are calling radio, and they just take the radio broadcast and put it over the TV broadcast. So anyway, when they go to commercial break, the commercials that are running are commercials for the LSU Sports Radio Network. Well, they're not going to air the radio commercials on the TV broadcast because that's an ESPN stream. So you don't hear the commercials. It's just whatever the camera is putting on the big board in the box is the feed that you see during the commercial break. Well, anyway, So they go to commercial, they're just doing crowd shots, right? Um, and I'll be darned, in the first game, there was a guy in the stands with a Hudco hat on. And I had no idea who he was, just it was a guy who had a Hudco hat. And so I screen grabbed it, and then I'm watching the second game. So now I'm just looking for Hudco hats, right? I'm just looking for Hudco hats in the crowd. And middle of the fifth inning, I see a Hudco hat. And I'm like, that's a familiar. It's Terrio. It was the Terrios. And it was so cool. Like Jana had on, Ryan had on this like giant black coat with the hood cinched up. So you couldn't even see her face really. But I saw the Hudco hat and I noticed it was Terrio. So I screen grabbed it. I did share it on the Hudco social media pages. So if you want to check that out, yes, Terrio was at the game, just out of the bleachers, wearing a Hudco hat, watching LSU pound Southern in 30-degree weather. Because why not? Wendell Norman, good morning. Good win in Knoxville yesterday. Yes, it was. Man, the Lady Tigers went on a dry spell there late in the fourth quarter, and still managed to hang on. Shane O'Mac, Pels looked great last night. They did. Strong side, what's good? Taz, what's good, man? Did you see the pictures of Mardi Gras float mocking Zion? I did. They have him bloated and fat, called it 1 ton. It's over in New Orleans. Word coming out of his mouth. I'm hungry. I'm not going to say that, Taz. The Mardi Gras floats, and I can understand why people outside of New Orleans may frown at that. But Mardi Gras floats are by nature satirical. That's what it is. I mean, that's what they've always been, back to its roots. I mean, that's why all the people riding the floats would wear masks. So it was like, they were maintaining autonomy. And it's always poked fun at celebrities and politicians, and it's just the way what it is. So I don't put too much into that. I mean, they poked fun at Drew Brees. One poked fun at Coach O. So I don't think. Listen, I'll put it this way. If a Mardi Gras float is what causes Zion to want to leave New Orleans, that's weak-minded on his part. I'll put it to you that way. Can't wait for the College Baseball Classic in Houston this weekend. Going to be honest, a little nervous about it. Here's a good thing, strong side. There's no reason to be nervous because every baseball team loses games. Okay, nobody goes undefeated, and it is way better to have the experience of taking your team in February or early March, going on the road, playing in a major league park against ranked opponents 3 consecutive days, than what just happened at the box. Because what just happened at the box was awful. Like, 2 woefully undermanned teams came in and you just dump trucked them for 3 days. Like, that did nothing for your team. This is going to tell you. Look, LSU's had mixed success at the Shriners in the past. So sometimes they've done well there, sometimes they've done poorly. Let's go play it out, I'm excited to see how Blake Money stacks up. Let's see if Blake Money goes and has the poise and command he's had these first couple of weekends against against a really good but they're playing Baylor first. Let me look at the schedule. Oklahoma first. Okay. So it's Oklahoma, Texas, Baylor. Okay. So Friday, 3 o'clock, a little bit out of your routine. I mean, they're starting when AFR starts. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see what Blake Money has. You're going to play Texas on Saturday night, prime time. Hudco hat party, by the way. Saturday, Pluckers, Hudco hat party. That's exciting. And then you'll come back on Sunday night as well. I don't like the way they scheduled it this year, though. I like when they play the primetime game on Friday, the afternoon game on Saturday, the morning game on Sunday. The excuse me, excuse me. Anyway, to finish that thought, I'd much rather play what they normally do, which is like 7 o'clock Friday, like 3 o'clock Saturday, and 11 o'clock on Sunday. But it's not how they drew it this year. Stephen Fry, good morning. Ricky Lambert, Robert Martin. Is MLB going to reach an agreement today? Robert, I may be crazy, but I'm going to say that they do. Because if you are literally running the risk of, if you're running the risk of missing paychecks, I think that's when you get action, right? Deadline spurs action. So I think they are going to reach one today. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have anything that tells me that other than historically saying, you got a deadline, reach an agreement. Randy Bennett, good morning. Caleb Bernard, what's up? Greg Phillips, Shelby, Gavin Dugas, so clutch. Can't believe a talent like Cruz didn't go pro out of high school. He's so polished already. Well, so Shelby, many people may not know this about Cruz, but like Dylan's family is pretty wealthy. So he had a number, and it was a high number, and he didn't get it. I mean, I'm not just talking about 7 figures, like $1 million. I mean, I think he wanted like 6. I think he wanted like top 10 money. And he didn't get it. I think he was maybe offered $1 million, maybe 2, but he was willing to come to LSU, play for a couple of years, become a top 5 pick, and get $6 million instead of $2 million. So betting on himself, and so far so good, right? But yes. And the interesting thing you mentioned about Gavin Dugas as well is when Dugas was, he had a rough fall in early season or practice because they were tinkering with his swing, and he was really struggling. And a few weeks ago they got to it and they said, you know what, just do, because in his mind he's saying, man, I 19 homers and led the SEC in RBI last year. Why are you changing me up here? And so ultimately, it just said, hey, look, go back and do the thing you were doing. And now he's producing, which is great to see. Richard Bordelon, morning, Matt. Who do you think will pitch against Texas this weekend? I think they stick with it. I think they go Money, Hilliard, Floyd. The interesting thing I think will be, who follows Hilliard now with Coleman out? Maybe it's Helmers, or does one of the young guys take the ball in that role? Or is it, maybe it's Devin Fontenot now, where you go Hilliard for 2-3 innings to get you off to a good start, and then you go Fontenot for 3-4 innings to get it to the back of the bullpen. That'll be interesting to see. But then the other thing is, do you go Raiselman Fontenot as a setup closer on Friday night? If so, then do you give the ball to, if you're in the situation to do so? So in many ways, it kind of depends on how the weekend plays out. But I could see that. Ron Ritchie, what's up? Shelby. Doug Thompson seems like a good guy. I love his love for LSU. For God's sake, stop stepping on Chris Blair's call. Duggar does do that often. Yes, he does. And I love Doug. Doug's awesome, and he's fantastic in the role he's in. He had 2 Doug Stradamus calls yesterday in the first inning, or not the first inning. It was the morning game, but it was. I have the box score. Hang on, I'll tell you. It was Joe Bear's home run. It was in the 4th. He basically called Joe Bear's home run. And then later in the game, Dylan Cruz hits a ball, he goes opposite field down the left field line, And boy, it sure looked like it was fair. We didn't get a great look at it in slow-mo, and the umpire was on the line, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, obviously. And Doug says, that's okay, I'd rather a homer anyway. Next pitch, boom. I mean, moonshot over the right field bleachers. It was awesome. But yeah, Doug does step on the goal. Let's see. Kyle DeVille. Love reading the Saints. Going to restructure Thomas and Ryan's contract to keep them. Yeah, man, they already did that. So Michael Thomas, Ryan Ramczyk, Andrus Pete, part of the restructure, which has begun for New Orleans to get them within cap compliance. They've still got about another $40 million or so to go. Would these early baseball games against Southern and Towson be the equivalent of cupcake games on the football schedule? Yeah, I mean, similar. I mean, those in football, that's more of a gate, you know. But yes, it's an opportunity to get out there and run your offense against somebody else, and for the athletic department to collect a huge gate receipt. And for baseball, I mean, you got to get out there and see other pitchers and actually play at game speed and stuff. So yes, it's similar. Eric Hart, good morning. Matt, my brother and I are doing a running challenge Friday, Sunday, raise money for hormone and non-narcotic therapy for PTSD, TBI treatment for veterans. Going to run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 straight hours. Oh my God. We'll have to miss the Hudco party, unfortunately. All good, man. No worries. 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 straight hours. Wow. That's incredible. So you're not going to sleep at any point for more than probably like 3 hours. Whew. Dude, that's like back to boot camp, man. My goodness. But good on you. Send me some info on it, Eric. Where are we? By the way, YouTube. Smash that like button, please. Got 54 watching, only 22 likes. Please smash that like button. Facebook, like the page, share the post. Brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock. As a matter of fact, saw a post this morning from one of my good friends on Facebook who said her son needs a shoulder injury, and she posted a list of all the shoulder doctors at Brock. It's like, anybody know any of these? Who'd you recommend? I'm like, all of them. Chip Bankson, of course, did my knee surgery. Craig Green is a great friend and a phenomenal guy, phenomenal orthopedist as well. That's Craig Green of Dr. Green's Mattress. Who else? Dr. Rodriguez did my mom's surgery. She had hip surgery. Oh, Harden. Oh, God. Harden fell out of a chair. Oh. James Harden fell out of a chair. Not good. Anyway. Rapping Batches, good morning. Eric Wilderwater, Scone. I understand we had to do it, but now the Michael Thomas dead cap next year is $25 million, which basically locks him into the roster for 2 more years. I guess I'm just yelling at clouds. Yes, you are, Eric. It's the thing that I've been telling you here and everywhere for months, if not years. Definitely months. Michael Thomas, when healthy, is one of the best receivers in football. You stunk throwing the football last year. Literally the worst of the NFL throwing the football. You know how you improve that? Get one of the best receivers in the NFL healthy and back on your team. He was always going to be back. His dead cap number going into this year was way too high to get rid of him to justify not having one of the best wide receivers in the NFL on your team. Why is this hard for anybody to understand? This one, and I'm not yelling at you, Eric. I'm not yelling at you. It's just the fuse ignited. This is not directly at you. Like, this is the point that I continue to make that annoys me about like the fan echo chamber. It's like everyone has convinced themselves that Michael Thomas is a bad guy and you need to get rid of him and you were going to get rid of him. Like, they were never getting rid of him. They were never getting rid of Michael Thomas ever. Like, they paid him $100 million. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Yes, it was a bad thing that happened last year where there was a lack of communication between Michael Thomas and the Saints. It doesn't mean he wasn't trying to play. They just had a disagreement on how to go about treating him. He did not have a good. I mean, I've had this conversation with people within that organization. Michael Thomas did not have a good feeling when he met with the doctors, and so he wanted to just rehab it and let it heal, which he did. He came back for OTA, started running around on it, and it worsened. And so they had to have the surgery, and it was late in the process. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Doesn't mean he's trying to not play. Doesn't mean he hates the organization. Doesn't mean he's stealing money. He made a bad, immature decision. So, okay, they've worked through it. He's rehabbing. He's going to be back, and that's going to make whoever is the quarterback next year a better player. So stop trying to get rid of Michael Thomas. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. He's still in his 20s. He's not going anywhere. Okay. I've been telling you that for months and months and months and months. And I keep hearing all these things. Hey, are they going to trade Michael Thomas? They're going to cut Michael Thomas? Hey, send Michael Thomas. Like, I've told you a bajillion times. They're not getting rid of Michael Thomas. His dead cap money was like $25 million, $22 million before the restructure. Like, he's not going anywhere. Are we clear? Again, not yelling at you, Eric. Not yelling at you. Keith H. I like that Hudco sleepwear. I mean, it's just a long sleeve shirt, but yes, I sleep in it. Taz did mock draft on PFF Simulator. Results were first round Chris Olave, second Lewis Sign, third James Cook, third Dylan Parham. I don't know Dylan Parham. Memphis offensive lineman, that's why. Okay. I mean, so I'll put it this way. I'm totally good with Olave in round one. Sign, I'm good in round two. If, you know what's going to be interesting? Excuse me. That may have less to do with Marcus Williams and more to do with Malcolm Jenkins. Because they're going to re-sign Marcus Williams. But Malcolm Jenkins is if you look at his contract, he's a candidate to be released. I mean, they may cut him or maybe ask him to take a pay cut. They may cut him and then re-sign him. Basically what they did with Quan Alexander last year. Quan had zero dead money. He was like $13 million against the cap. Coming off the Achilles, there was no way. I mean, basically the same situation that Bradley Roby's in right now. Bradley Roby's got like a $10 million number. None of it guaranteed, so no dead cap money. They're gonna release Bradley Roby. You know, it's or if they like him, they can re-sign him. But Paulson Adebo's emergence makes that less urgent. But anyway, Malcolm Jenkins is going to be interesting. So the safety may not be necessary, depending on what happens. I love James Cook in round 3. I'd be great with that. If you want to get a lineman also, then I like it too. Blanche Hudson saw an article from The Wire that said Brian Kelly was on the hot seat in the first year. Oh, first year coaches category. Yeah, that's stupid. I don't know what The Wire is, and that's probably why. No, Brian Kelly's not on the hot seat. That's stupid. They paid him $100 million, and all of it, and like 90%, I think, is guaranteed. So they are financially committed to Brian Kelly for a decade. Anyone who suggests Brian Kelly's on the hot seat today or next year is just stupid. Like, fundamentally stupid. Brian Kelly is going to be here for 10 years. Gulf South, morning from Hot Springs, Arkansas. I've seen a bunch of breweries up here. Wonder if Fineswalk has ever taken a visit here. Don't know, Gulf South. I'll ask so. It's a good question for tomorrow with Lee. Strong side. Like seeing production coming from the 7, 8, 9 hitters so far this season. I've noticed we're hunting a lot more as well. I guess that's supposed to be bunting. Again, I wish they wouldn't. I don't know if you're watching yesterday, but against Southern, they had runners at first and second with nobody out, and they tried to bunt Alex Milazzo. And Alex Milazzo struck out bunting on 3 pitches. Yes, that's the same Alex Milazzo that's hitting over 300 right now. and actually seems to have found some consistency at the plate where last year he was quite bad. He had a very impressive at bat in the first game yesterday. He got down the count. He fouled off a ton of pitches, worked it full, and then smacked an opposite field RBI single. Like, it was a very impressive at bat. And I am super hopeful that that keeps up, because if that does, now you have an elite defensive catcher who's not a total liability offensively. I mean, it's so much they moved him out of the 9 hole. They moved him to the 8 hole. And then Merrifield batting ninth. Brian Pitton, good morning. Let's see. Ross Jackson said if we didn't sign Winston, he would be ecstatic if the Saints signed Lamar Jackson. Back up Huntley. That'd be our quarterback. How do you feel about that? So in my mind, I'm trying to decide. I would weigh, is Huntley a better option than drafting a quarterback? And here's why. So, Tyler Huntley played when Lamar got hurt. He just finished up year 2. So he started 4 games when Lamar got hurt. That's the kind of sample size that makes me go, okay, is that another Teddy Bridgewater? Taysom Hill, lesser degree. Think back to an LSU guy, Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn, when Rodgers was hurt, Matt Flynn started that one game against Detroit through 6 touchdown passes, and it landed him a big contract in Seattle. And then ultimately, they took Russell Wilson in round 3, and Wilson beat him out, and Flynn got traded to Oakland, where he got beat up there as well. And anyway, I guess my point is, 4 games is a really small sample size. You would have to like the player, the skill set, you would have to go back to your draft evaluation of that player to decide if that's a guy you think can be a starting quarterback in the NFL. And then I would say you weigh that over or against this year's draft class. That's where I think you would have to do. All right, let's see. Deborah Cowart, Debbie Jenkins, Jeff McKithen, good morning. Brian Broom, what's up? Brian Jones, morning from New York. Let's see. Milazzo makes it to the majors because of his defense. So, not solely, Brian, and I have talked to, I've mentioned this here before, so I don't know if y'all have heard me say it, but I've had a lot of big league scouts tell me that Milazzo defensively is the kind of guy that could be a big league bullpen catcher for 15 years. And typically, if he can hit a little bit. Because he's got elite pop time and arm strength and all that sort of stuff. So, it was interesting because he was telling me, like, typically those guys are the bullpen catchers. Like, you bounce from AAA to the big league squad kind of consistently, but you're basically the backup catcher in the big league squad, and if then you need game action, you bounce down to AAA and play game, whatever. So, but those guys typically make about $800K. I mean, imagine if you could make $800,000 being a bullpen catcher. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't a bad living. You do that for a decade plus. He said basically like that's what a guy like Milazzo is, if he can hit a little bit. So, I don't think he'll ever be an everyday starting catcher in the bigs. I shouldn't say never, but he's got a long way to go for that. Put you that way. Let's see. Over under on LSU wins for football. Do you think they'll be over 8? I think Vegas will have them at 7.5. That's what I think they'll be. I think Vegas will have LSU's over under at 7.5. Brian Jones, I'm a Colts fan. We're in the same boat as the Saints with quarterback uncertainty. Yeah, man. All the scuttle seems like Carson Wentz is going to end up in Tampa. That would be interesting. Michelle Keanu Moffitt, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Where are we? Back to YouTube. Janet, Dr. Fields repaired my shoulder. Definitely recommended. Yeah, Dr. Fields is great. They're all great over there. You know. Jay Benoit, good morning. Brandon, love the early morning rant. Way to get it going. I think I scared away Eric. I hope I didn't. Because Eric's like a morning scone, loyal morning scone guys here. But I wasn't yelling at him. It's just the notion about Mike Thomas. Anyway. Kirk Taylor, good morning. D, good morning. How's E-Rock feeling? Better. Last night she started feeling better. So she took a long nap during the afternoon and then woke up yesterday and was like, I'm not nauseous anymore. I feel like a normal functioning human being again. So she went to the grocery store and got a good night's sleep tonight. So yeah, good. Thank you. Brandon, Matt, do you think the Saints take Matt Corral if he's available? So it depends on Jameis, right? If they re-sign Jameis Winston, then no, I don't. If they don't sign Jameis Winston, I think it's a pretty clear indicator that they're going to draft a quarterback. And yeah, I think Corral could be the guy at 18. Taz, do you work for yourself with these products, or with these podcasts, sorry? If so, if so, is this something I can make a living with and take care of my family? So good question. So the answer is kind of dependent on you. So the extra stuff that I do, like Morning Scone and Nightcap with Scone and that content that I produce is mine. I own it. So like I have a deal with Brock where they sponsor me. Of course, y'all know I'm a part owner of Hudco, so I use this platform to promote Hudco as well, which is something that I'm invested in. Locked on LSU was my podcast that I did separately. Part of Locked On Network. Well, Guarantee, the company I work for, started the Guarantee Podcast Network. And so Guarantee asked me to forego that to start producing content for the Guarantee Podcast Network, hence LSU Daily, which I was happy to do. But the answer to your question, if you can make a living and take care of your family, it depends how much money you need to make a living and take care of your family. And initially, no. Because when you start day one, no one is going to listen to you or watch you. That's just the truth with everybody. I do talk to a lot of college broadcast students and classes, and it's cool. I get to share experiences with aspiring broadcasters and all. And the thing that I tell them often is, look, patience is such a key part of media, because media, in many ways, is a battle of attrition. I got a college degree in journalism, and I worked in radio for 7 years before I had a full-time job. It's just so competitive that, I've seen a lot of very talented people leave the industry because they couldn't make a living. And so they decided to go do something else where they could make a steady income, support a family, all that stuff. Excuse me. So, can you? Absolutely. And the great thing is that the barrier to entry is zero. Media has changed so much to where, when I started in radio, which wasn't that long ago, I mean, it's been 19 years, but still just in the last 20 years, think about how much, just in the last 10 years, I mean, the barrier to entry is zero. Anybody that wants to start a show or a podcast, just all you need is a phone. There's a phone and an internet connection, which wasn't the case. To get on air, to get those opportunities, somebody had to retire, or die, or someone scouting talent had to see you and give you a shot. I mean, it was just much harder to get on air. Now, shoot, anybody has an international audience because of the internet. So, but you just got to realize, man, that's also created a tremendous amount of competition, and nobody's going to listen to you initially. So, I mean, look, I mean, as a case in point, I've had a lot of success. I'm fortunate. Look at I got 74 watching on YouTube right now and 34 on Facebook. So 108 people watching cumulatively, which I'm super pumped. Like, I'm so fortunate to, like, I'm grateful to everybody watching, but like, I can't make a living on that, you know. Now, Morning Scone isn't my all-in thing. If this was my all-in thing and I refined it and I took more care with like thumbnails and titles and, the description and tag and all the things that lend into the YouTube algorithm, yes, it would do better. But, this is more just let's have a cup of coffee and talk in the morning. So, that was a long-winded answer. Sorry about that, but hope that helps. Brian Jones, what's the pool company you advertise on AFR? Do they offer finance? Yeah, so it's Pinnacle, Pinnacle Exterior Construction, and they do. They did my outdoor kitchen. They did Terrio's pool. So, yeah, they do all financing. Yep. You want to give them a shot? It's a good time. I tell people, like, shoot, what I say on air is true. Like, call them now so you can start the process. So when the weather is nice, you're swimming. I mean, if you call them in May, it's not like you call them and you have a pool in 5 days, Anyway. Brian Jones, is Gamecoin still down right now? I haven't checked it this morning, but yeah, listen, man, the entirety of the crypto market and the entirety of the stock market are all down right now. I mean, look what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. I think with respect to crypto, we're at the end of the 4-year Bitcoin cycle, and I think we're headed collectively into a prolonged bear market until the 2025 Bitcoin bull run. Just look up the history of the Bitcoin cycle, the 4-year Bitcoin cycles, and that's a great indicator of what's happening right now. And as a result, like, basically the price of Binance Coin is dragging down Gamecoin right now. But once the Gamecoin platform is launched, I do think we are going to pump again. So I think within this year, we will pump again. Where's the T-Bob and Scone show? The Scone and T podcast? We did an episode a couple weeks ago. But look, I was traveling. He's in Disney right now. We're not really sure if we're doing anything outside of football anyway consistently. So I don't know if y'all want it. I guess we can. And Brian Jones, it's fine. Please feel free to throw out your questions. Thank you, Trey Guy. Very kind of you. All right, any more on Facebook? Jared Wrinkles. How do you think LSU matched up with Oklahoma, Texas, Baylor this weekend? So, Jared, I am going to have Kendall Rogers on the show this week, and we will go deep into the the preview of that series, that weekend in Houston. Texas right now is ranked number 1 in the country, so that'll be a really good test. That's D1 baseball. There's a lot of different. There's Perfect Game. There's USA Today, collegiate baseball. So there's a lot of different rankings, but Texas is 1. See if Baylor. I don't think Baylor's ranked. Yeah, Oklahoma and Baylor aren't. Neither of them are ranked. So, anyway, so we'll see, man. I'd be lying if I told you I knew a ton about those baseball teams. Let's see. All right, Eric, I'll check it. Thank you. Jonathan Martin, Bob Poole, good morning. All right, y'all, we might be just about done. Appreciate y'all for hanging out here. What's going on with John Emery? Is he back 100%? Yeah, John Emery's back. Is he going to start? I don't know. Remember, you have a new running backs coach, you have a new offensive coordinator, new head coach. You brought in a transfer running back this offseason as well. You had some young guys get a lot of experience last year. So I don't know if John Emery's going to start. but he's back. So you have you do have a deep running back room. So, and nobody has established themselves among that room. So it's a good opportunity for all of them to go play really well in spring and give themselves a chance to be the guy. Did you see the tweet of Jeannie Buss leaving in the third? I did, yeah. That was a blowout last night, man. It was fun to watch. I actually did go to bed at the end of the third quarter, though. All right. Okay, I think we're done. I'm going to go shower, get this day rolling. Thanks so much for watching. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, if you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. They're the best, orthopedists for the Saints and the Tigers. If it's good enough for the Saints and the Tigers, it's good enough for me and you, right? All right. And, of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Give us a shout, HudcoRoofing.com. Remember, Hudco Hometown Hero Program. Hire Hudco to do a roof, and we will take a portion of the net and commit it to an NIL deal with the athlete of your choice. And we can always give you that free, no obligation roofing inspection. HudcoRoofing.com. HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all have an awesome day. I'm going to get up to a guarantee here in a little bit. I will knock out an LSU Daily podcast, so please subscribe there if you haven't yet. And I will see you for AFR 3. Peace.